Good morning. We are going to start the session. I would like to invite you to take your seat, please. Good morning. May I ask you to take your seat, please? May I ask the colleague from the Secretariat to invite everybody in the room? Can we close the door, please, because we are starting. I know that some delegations are having bilateral meetings, but we would like to start now. I would like to invite to the podium Honorable Pedro Roque from Portugal, who is PAM Vice President, President Emeritus of PAM, and is also the President of our third Standing Committee. Together with the President Roque, I would like to invite to the podium Ms. Anna Damotta, Mr. Mohamed El Kandri, Mr. Kofi Agosson, and Professor Antonio Stango. Pedro?
Good morning, everyone. Excellencies, Mr. President, dear Secretary General, dear colleagues, and distinguished guests. First and foremost, allow me to express my gratitude to His Majesty, King Mohammed VI, for his generous patronage, and also to President Mayara and the House of Councillors of Morocco for hosting the second edition of this forum. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our session on entrepreneurship in a digital world and challenge of AI. Artificial intelligence. Over the past 2 decades, our societies has witnessed remarkable growth driven by advancements in information technologies, facilitating unprecedented globalization. The potential of AI to enhance efficiency as seen through applications like generative AI is promising. These advancements provide entrepreneurs with new opportunities to innovate and implement their business ideas, but also raise concerns about job displacement, ethical considerations, and security threats. Such issues require careful consideration from both developers and users. PAM is deeply engaged in addressing these issues. During our last plenary session in Braga, we adopted 2 resolutions addressing challenges and opportunities on AI and about the broader process of digitalization and the necessary actions we must implement. Following up those resolutions within the year, PAM will also organize a specific roundtable on malicious use of AI and its risks. Furthermore, PAM, through its Center for Global Studies in San Marino, is conducting an extensive study on the malicious use of AI, comparing existing and upcoming regulatory framework in PAM member states and other countries in close cooperation with the UN Security Council. So, to set the stage for our conversation, it's important to remember that AI is in early stages, with vast potential yet to be realized. Unlike any technology before, AI has the ability to generate new ideas and make independent decisions, even those that could impact us. This shift from the past technologies with lacked autonomy decision-making capabilities presents a unique paradigm. As biological beings, humans need time to adjust to the accelerating pace of AI. Policymakers have a crucial role in creating a buffer for this adaptation, ensuring society isn't overwhelmed. The central issue lies in determining the necessity of regulating AI deployment within society, mirroring the established regulatory frameworks for various goods. Today, to discuss those critical issues, we will hear from distinguished speakers from both the private and public sectors who will explore the opportunities and challenges of AI. I'm looking forward to this engaging session and wish you a fruitful discussion. Thank you all. Now I return to my place. So I think that in order to be familiar with some basic concepts or key concepts about AI, you have received this document. This has just the key concept with 4 pages. I think it's important to have some kind of acronyms or some basic concept about AI. So, the first intervention is from Mrs. Ana da Mota, who is Senior Manager of Digital Affairs and AI AWS Public Policy Europe, Middle East and Africa, and I will give her the floor. You have the floor.
Hi, thank you. Thank you very much. Distinguished members of PAM, delegations, international organizations, fellow friends from the private sector, thank you very much for the opportunity of joining this conversation today. Amazon is very much honored and delighted to be here and share with you our long-standing commitment and global commitment to contribute to the discussions and conversations on AI and the effects that it has on innovation. If you ask me one thing that is important regarding innovation and AI, I would say that responsibility is really the word of the day. So if we really expect AI technology to be adopted and make the impact that we already seen in a few sectors and in a few areas of our own lives, it's all because it has been developed and deployed in a responsible and trustworthy way. So it is responsibility that will drive adoption, and adoption will drive innovation. So at Amazon, we have been working with AI and developing AI tools for over 20 years now. I think many of you in this room may have been acquainted with some of the things or the services that we're doing with AI. I wanted to call out, for example, a capability that our AI-enabled voice assistant, Alexa, for example, has been helping visually impaired persons to achieve more autonomy at home. So when you cannot see and when you have a voice assistant at home helping you with buying your groceries, ordering a transport, calling someone you love, and helping you with basic tasks in your day, that's a big achievement. There's other areas where we're working from the AWS perspective, so we're the cloud business at Amazon. We are, for example, seeing customers using cloud services to deploy in the agricultural sector, for example, tools that are gonna help and are already helping them to increase the use of land, better measure the impact from a sustainability perspective. We have today, for example, 200,000 farmers from 56 different countries using the services that One Soil, for example, one customer is offering. And this is really impactful. There's another area where AI has a big impact on all of us, and that's health. In the health space, we really think that AI it's a game changer. So from early diagnosis of cancer to, for example, treating patients that are in distant areas and do not have access to doctors, oncologists. We do see many startups taking these AI services that we offer. It's like a plug and play thing. Like imagine you log in into a console and then you have access to over 200 services that we offer at AWS. And then you can take it and use it immediately to try to solve the issues that you have. So yes, we're a global company. We understand that AI, being global, put us in a place where responsibility is the word of the day. With that in mind, I also wanted to say that in my team, we're the public policy team, so we work every day with policymakers and regulators around the world with the aim to bring perspectives of a company that is not only itself developing and deploying AI services and now even looking at the generative AI, which is something that I had a chance to quickly discuss here with our moderator. We know that large companies are going to be probably more capable to comply with whatever legal framework and regulatory framework that we may come up with on the AI space. But what we are seeing is that if regulation is put forward in a way that it's not really coordinated, the negative impacts that we may create are not much adoption. So a study is showing, for example, that in Europe, 1/3 of small and medium businesses have not already starting to adopt AI into the processes because they are uncertain about the compliance. So the regulatory role is big in the space as well. And I really wanted to thank you for the opportunity to be discussing this with you, because government talking to each other is actually the best thing that could happen at this moment. So we have been seeing a few frameworks have been put in place. Today is a big day for the European Union. So the EU AI Act has been published in the official Gazette, and it's going to be now in effect and triggering legal deadlines for compliances, and that's one example. But in doing so and discussing regulation in our respective countries, I really think that talking to each other is a very good and important exercise, and also count with us in the private sector who have been doing the same exercise in different jurisdictions to come to the dialogue and participate actively into the discussions, bringing the perspective from our customers in different sectors. So I think this is what I had for today. If I have to leave with two messages, I think what cloud services is doing is basically enabling access to AI tools and generative AI tools. So we use the word democratize in a sense that this is not just a technology that is available for large enterprises. It is also available for small and medium business and for startups. But it's important that they're aware about this. So that's also part of our mission, is to bring up the value of cloud services. And the second the second message that I have is the importance of working in skills. So we know that skills is on top of your agendas in many of your countries here. And skilling, reskilling, upskilling, looking into the way that AI and generative AI is going to help us achieve the next layer of the next wave of workforce that is going to come into the workforce, or that is going to be reskilled and continue and navigate the workforce. I think that's an important thing, and that's a very good area, very close to what we're doing at AWS. So thank you very much. I look very much forward to continue the conversation today and for the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear Rana. So you mentioned your experience in Amazon with the voice assistant. I mean, everybody knows Alexa, as well as not from Amazon, but Hi Google or Siri. That's an experience of voice assistant of AI on agriculture, on health, about certain kind of remote diagnosis, and the importance that the regulation must be carefully implemented. I mean, international standards are better than national ones. So the next speaker is Mr. Mohammed El-Kandri, co-founder of IR4 Lab and member of the Office on the CGEM Tech Ecosystem Commission. Please, Mr. El-Kandri, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Good morning. I would like to thank warmly His Majesty the King Mohammed VI, may God glorify him, for his high patronage of this event, as well as the organizers for their invitation. And I would like to thank the Chamber of Councillors in Morocco and the CGM.
As you have mentioned, my name is Mohammed El-Kandri. I'm the co-founder and CTO of IR4 Lab. And we are on a mission to not only develop emerging technology solutions, but also to democratize access to these solutions. In fact, IR4 Lab is Saudi Aramco first blockchain investment in the MENA region and second worldwide. And we are working with large companies like Saudi Aramco, Saudi Ground Service, and the like in the MENA region to drive digital transformation. Also Director of Education at York University, where I had the chance to develop over 15 programs in continuing education to educate executives and leaders on the use of blockchain technology, AI, and big data. For me, events like this are very crucial in terms of creating awareness and demystifying this kind of concepts that we hear about all day long. As our esteemed moderator mentioned, you may have received the documents with AI concept and their definition. There are, I think, over 45 concepts there. And this is just a testament to how this technology is evolving. Yes, we are still scratching the surface, but I think the use of AI in general has been around for many years. If I, for example, speak about Amazon and their recommendation service, if you have been using Amazon to buy things, so this is using AI. And also, as you have clearly mentioned, AI presents opportunities, but also risks. But one thing we need to remember that all of these AI technologies that are around are based on human intelligence. Because an AI is basically an algorithm, computer algorithm, that is trained on a large amount of data. And this data is coming from us. It's coming from me, you, and other people that are using the internet, browsing the internet, using social media, and providing this data to these AI algorithms. And this puts a huge amount of responsibility in every individual in Earth. It's not only the technologists or the policymakers who are contributing to the ethical use of AI. We as an internet users also, we have a responsibility to feed this AI system with data that is reliable. And I think that we could talk for many hours about the ethics of AI and how this AI could be biased. If you have ever used, for example, tools like ChatGPT, which is a tool that utilizes what we call large language model, which is AI models to predict text generation. You could see example of AI bias that is within the system. So it's our duty to make sure that we are building a technology that is first of all inclusive, but also safe to use for everyone. Because these tools we are developing will be used by the next generation, will be used by kids, will be used by youth, but also by the average people that are using the internet. In terms of what corporate enterprise or even government could use or take advantage of this AI system, the opportunities are huge. I mean, right now we are in the process of democratizing the access to AI by developing tools that could be used by the mass. And tools like large language model are just one of the examples that are around, but the use cases are huge in terms of healthcare, for example, which is a pressing issue. We have seen, all of us, what's happened with the COVID pandemic. So I think with AI system, we will be, if used properly, we will be well prepared for the next pandemic, because it's coming. So this preparedness is very crucial in terms, for example, of the healthcare. Other examples are the creation of new medicines. So AI could shorten the time needed for developing and testing new medicines. And we have seen, for example, this being used in cancer treatment, etc. And I think entrepreneurs in general could play a role in developing this system, because they have this disruption ADN. When we talk about entrepreneurship, is creating something that is new. So entrepreneurs are well equipped to utilize this framework. But also, our region is poised to be a leader in this emerging technology. In fact, I remember that the first AI minister that has been appointed in history was in the United Arab Emirates. So, and we have initiatives, for example, in Saudi Arabia. The Public Investments Fund has created what we call the company Alat, which is a 100 billion company, to drive innovation within the technology sectors, including AI. So I think that the Mediterranean and the MENA region in general could play a role in being a leader in AI development and AI advancement worldwide. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dean Mohammed, and thank you especially for this document of the key concepts of AI. I think it's very important for all of us because there are a lot of new concepts that we don't master. Then this way, it facilitates our job. In order to set the stage, I think that we could somewhat you say, but when you say that we are just scratching the surface. I mean, AI is still a baby. You have seen nothing yet. The potential of this new technology is so huge that that's why it's important to debate and to try to have some kind of regulation. Because it represents opportunities and challenges. So you have mentioned the ethical use of AI. That is very, very important. And also the biased AI is also important because this technology tries to reproduce the human mind. The algorithms try to reproduce the human mind. So next, we will hear from Mr. Kofi Agusu, who is Deputy Director of the Regional Office for Africa of the ILO, International Labour Organization. I think that you have a PowerPoint presentation. So for that, I have here a little piece of low technology. There is a remote control in order to control the presentation.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much, moderator. My name is Kofi Agosu. I'm the Deputy Regional Director for ILO Africa. ILO is the International Labour Organization, an UN agency which mandate is to improve working conditions and to advance and to promote social justice through productive and decent job. I have celebration. We highlighted that usually when we are talking about the impacts of the technology in the world of work, we just talk about job creation, job description, skilling, or reskilling. What ILO is proposing is to go beyond this discussion and to look at the global, the broader impact of the technology on the people, on the work. So that's what we call the human-centered approach. So we can consider what is happening in the technology with the world of work. So, in terms of impact of job, in terms of impact of the AI on the jobs, ILO recently ILO published a research result. So what you can see from this graph is that when we are talking about the impact of the AI on the work, on the job, we first look at the automation. The automation, the potential of the automation depends on the level of income of countries. For example, in the low-income countries, the automation potential is only 0.4%, including for women and for men. While in high-income countries, the automation potential is about 5.5%. And as you can see, women are more impact, 20.5 times impact in terms of automation. When we are talking about the augmentation, the potential of augmentation due to the impact of the AI, we can notice that in the low-income countries, it is 11.4. And here you may see that the impact on women and men the gap is not so wide. While in high income, the potential augmentation is 30.3%. 2% of the total employment. So what the results of the study show is that women are 2.5 times more affected by potential automation than women, and we are talking about job substitution And the other conclusion is that most jobs in the industry are only partially exposed to automation and are thus more likely to be complemented rather than substitution. The third conclusion of this study is that generative artificial intelligence is more likely to enhance jobs by automating specific tasks rather than replacing entire roles. And the last conclusion is that the impact of the generative AI is expected to be more on the quality of the jobs, particularly in terms of work intensity and autonomy, rather than job description. So this one is very, very important to have in mind. Okay, so here what I want to just show you is that when you want to analyze the impact of the AI on employment, you have to take into consideration the centrality of automation, of automatic tasks to occupation, how technology is integrated, how the manager want to maintain jobs, and so on. So basically, the AI has impact on workers because it can, for example, reduce the danger and deprivation. It can reduce also work-related stress and potential. But it have also negative impact. For example, workers can lose their motivation because they are just doing work automatically and they don't think about what they are doing. And automation can reduce workers' control and autonomy as well as the richness of work content. But in terms of administration, of course, it has a good impact on labor inspection. In terms of impact on small and micro enterprises, also this one has a good impact. For that, ILO published a report which we call Small Goals Digital. So in this report, what you can see is that digital adoption improve micro and small enterprises, access to information, access to new markets, access to e-commerce, and so on. However, small firms are less likely than larger ones to adopt digital technology, and the productivity gains are also weaker for the smaller enterprises. And the other outcome of this study is that there is a gender gaps in terms of if the women, the enterprise led by women are facing more barriers to adopt digital technology. So now let's look at what are the approaches that ILO use in terms of for improving life for micro, small enterprises and also the life of workers. So what we recommend is that we need to support micro, small enterprises to adopt digital strategy because this one will be key for more resilience, for more productivity, and to expand more business. So for this one, we recommend to support digital skills development for young people. We recommend also to support digitally enabled formalization programs and fair labor practices in digital economy. We also recommend to support decent work and inclusive entrepreneurship promotion in digital economy. So, for that, what as ILO, what we recommend is that we advocate for the development of inclusive digital entrepreneurship ecosystem where the benefits of digital transformation and AI are broadly shared and contribute to decent work and the well-being of all workers. And this one should include workers in informal sector as well workers in formal sector. And we propose 6 pillars, the policy, which is the first one, so we have to develop a regulatory framework that encourages public-private partnership. This one is very important. Another pillar is the culture, so we have to foster a culture of diversity and inclusion in digital entrepreneurship. We have to develop also, we have to encourage human capital, so we need to we need to invest in education and skills training to equip workers for digital jobs. We need also to support, to promote financial inclusivity in order to allow young people, young women to better have skills and to better have access to finance and not be marginalized. We need also to support the development of digital marketplace and platforms that connect micro, small enterprises with customers. So, and finally, in terms of pillars, also we need to support business management training, mentoring, coaching, and so on, and so technology infrastructure also in order to promote, of course, access and to promote the resilience of MSCs when we are talking about the AE. So the last point that I want to highlight here is that ILO has tools. ILO has developed several tools and training programs. We have our International Training Center in Turin, where we develop many programs. One of our program and initiative is what we call Digitalize Your Business. This one, it is provide support to MSC and the entrepreneur to know how to utilize digitalization in their work. We have also success stories of entrepreneurs on our website. We have projects founded by Microsoft, philanthropists. We have projects on women business. And also now we are developing standardization because in this world, many workers which are affected by digitalization are also facing a issue of working conditions. So that's the reason why ILO is conducting now a survey to standardize, to present norms, to present a labor standard in the platform economy. And this one will be discussed during our International Labor Conference next year. So in terms of conclusion, so what we can learn from my presentation is that digitalization and AI offer potential but also challenges. And the second one is that when we have the ILO, also we call for use of a technology in support of decent work and human in command approach, which means that artificial intelligence need to ensure that the final decision affecting work are taken by human beings, not by algorithm. And this one is very important. The other recommendation that we have is that we need to involve, we need to take into consideration the voice of the workers when we are drafting, when we are implementing, and also when we are using the technology. That's what ILO is calling the social dialogue. So the dialogue between employers, workers, and the government in terms of the AI. And lastly, we need also we need laws that regulates artificial intelligence in terms of in the application at the workplace. So that's a few recommendations that ILO can bring on the table for the discussion. Thank you for your keen attention, and sorry if my presentation is too long. Over to you.
Thank you so much, dear Kofi. I think that is all about opportunities and challenges. You have mentioned the 2019 ILO declaration during the 100 years of this, which is one of the oldest UN agencies, and the concern of the introduction of the digitalization and robotization and the new technologies and the quantity and the job losses, and not just the quantity but also the quality of jobs. It is very important. And how can we measure these rates between the job losses and job creations with the new technologies, but also the reskillings, and also what is very important, the respect for the decent work. I think this is very, very important for the ILO. Also, the problem of the gender gap, that is very, very important also. And there are two sentences that I think it is very important. One is the workers must have a voice in the implementation of AI. And the second one, there is a need for laws that regulate AI's application in the workplace. That is very important for us as legislators. Now we go to the last interventions. I will now give the floor to Professor Antonio Stango, which is Adjunct Professor of International Organizations and Human Rights at the Rome Link University. Please, Professor Stango, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Actually, I'm also the president of Italian Federation for Human Rights, and we have a memorandum of understanding with the Parliamentary Assembly of the Mediterranean. So, why the artificial intelligence is so important for people that deal specifically with human rights? Well, one of the last projects that we did as Italian Federation for Human Rights was supported by the European Union, and it was media literacy for democracy. We believe that it's extremely important to be able to use the modern technologies, and specifically the modern media and artificial intelligence. We should be somehow educated to this. And it is so difficult when especially some categories of people are not able to have a sufficient knowledge of what does it mean to use artificial intelligence instead of being used by it. It is much easier than before with the modern technologies and AI in particular to manipulate individuals, to manipulate public opinion, and even to change the policy of a country, to manipulate elections, for instance, to determine the result of election, and to have a government instead of another. Think if the manipulation affects millions of people in the context of an electoral campaign, for instance. So this is quite important. It is important on a big scale, and it is important in the everyday life of each of us. A few days ago, I was in Rome talking with a friend of mine about some issue, and my mobile phone was on a table, some 3 meters from me. At a certain point, without that I did anything with my phone, it started to talk and started to advise me about which kind of literature I had, according to my phone, to read on the issue I was talking about. So it was quite impressive for me. But beside this, I was thinking, what if I have not a sufficient basic knowledge of this issue? What if I cannot distinguish if the source recommended, in this case by my mobile phone or its artificial intelligence, if that source is not reliable? So we should have a basic understanding about what are the reliable sources of information. That's why we are working a lot with my organization and with the international partners in several countries on misinformation and disinformation. So these are other key words. Responsibility was a key word signaled by our distinguished friend here. And misinformation and disinformation are two key words that we must always keep in our mind nowadays. This is so more important as we are in a historical period when the general international system, the international organization frame that was created after World War II in order to try and guarantee peace and security on the planet is shaken when it is every day put under discussion, when it is under attack. All the UN family, I would say. So it is more and more important every day to achieve a sufficient knowledge of what is going on each of us and on international relations. The strategic competition among world powers is more and more based on modern technologies. It is not anymore a simple matter of how big is a country, how big is the population of a country, how big is the hard power, let's say, but more and more it is a very important factor in the race to achieve the superiority in the world field, the use of modern technology. And artificial intelligence has a key role. So we should understand, first of all, and I would mention another important word, a very simple word that somehow we know from when we are children, and this word is education. So to be educated to the use of social media, modern technology, and specifically artificial intelligence. Only in this way we can hope to be responsible citizen of the world and to be aware of what is happening. And there is a need of regulation. Exactly today, the European Union published the Artificial Intelligence Act that is going to enter into force on August 1st this year. So the European Union studied in the last 10 years or more the issue related to artificial intelligence. It did it at every level, with special committees, with the European Parliament, with specific study centers within the European Commission, and elaborated this act that include a series of risk categories related to artificial intelligence. Some issues are considered simply prohibited, and it is, for instance, social scoring, cognitive behavioral manipulation, biometric categorization. If you already think about these three big issues, you may notice that some countries, or better say, some authoritarian regimes, already do a big use of these tools: social scoring, cognitive behavioral manipulation, and biometric categorization. So the European Union is going to prohibit this, at least to try to prohibit. But artificial intelligence has no borders. So how to do this? That's why I'm here more to put questions than to give answers, unfortunately. I would like very much to be able to give answers, but just I can give some suggestions and hope that the answers will come. Then there are high risks pointed out by the European Union, that is the use in employment, and our colleague said several points about this according to the experience of ILO. There are credit decisions. So the credit system can use artificial intelligence to decide about giving credit, and this can arrive at a very serious decision. And again, the source and the proper use of the information is very important. Health and life insurance risk assessment, other important problem. And each of us remembers what happened with the pandemic. So the spreading out of every kind of information, misinformation and disinformation in that time seriously affected our lives. And so on. Then there is the system of filters, spam filters, for instance, that can be used in a way that we may consider appropriate, or can be used for a non-appropriate way of censoring, and so limiting in a not acceptable way the information and the right to be informed. So this is a series of issues that somebody in the so-called international human rights community is studying, and we are indicated to the expert. And I'm going to conclude. The persons to whom we address our concerns are, among else, the members of parliament. We have here several honorable members of parliament, some of them a very prominent level in their own countries. They have the possibility and the responsibility to understand how to address the issue and enacting a proper legislation on these issues. And we have the academia on this, studying the issue, interacting with civil society is very important, and having the attention of members of parliament and governments, international institutions on these issues. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, dear Professor. After all, it's all about education, and the academy is also very important on this discussion. I try to summarize saying that when you mentioned that recognition of the digital outputs that we receive from the internet, we must understand perfectly behind any doubt if those outputs are human or are AI generated. I think it's very important. Also, the ethical issues, and finally, that regarding this issue of AI, we have more questions than answers. So, after these insightful presentations, I think that the stage is set for, and I will now open the floor for debate and discussion to further enrich our session with your perspectives on the topics covered. I have also already have three persons to intervene. The first is Dr. Marco Emanuele, who is senior researcher at the PAM Center for Global Studies in San Marino. The floor is yours.
Thank you, President Roque. The Center for Global Studies is a special program of PAM, and allow me to thank Ambassador Piazzi for the opportunity to speak about AI in this very important forum. Following President Pedro Roque in his introduction, AI, we have to see AI between opportunities and risks. And so we need a sort of techno-realism. Now, the Center for Global Studies is working on a report on the malicious use of AI by criminal networks and terroristic organizations at the global level. And we are focusing on the governance issues and in particular on the legislative framework at national levels and to improve non-binding global guidelines for parliamentarians and public officers. Our report is now under peer review by the UN Security Council Executive Directorate on Counterterrorism, and in the next month it will be presented to the Security Council. This report is not only a photography of malicious use of AI and emerging technologies, but we want to make it a living report. So every week we produce, and we are improving it, a digest on the news, on the evolution about information on AI, seen from the points of view of security, governance, legislation, intelligence and defense. I think in conclusion that the key word for us, for the Center for Global Studies and PAM, is responsibility. We need responsibility on AI for development, for peace, for the Mediterranean and the Gulf area, but for all the world in the spirit of UN and PAM resolutions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So the next intervention will be by Mrs. Hannah Hali, MP from Bahrain. You have the floor.
Shukran.
Thank you very much. One of the main challenges in this domain are artistic and security challenges which face businessmen in using digital technology and artificial intelligence. This technology can support innovation and find new solutions to support the digital economy and sustainable development under the condition that we have clear lists that organize this technology and reinforce the environment of business. We would like to talk about the importance of cooperation between the countries in the regions of the Mediterranean and the Gulf in the development of this technology, and also provide opportunities for experts and for parliaments play a very important role in finding solutions that are appropriate to these problems. In order to have clear policies that support digital economy and leadership in business for innovation. In conclusion, we need to control the implementation of the policies, and laws are related to guarantee their implementation in a just and fair way to achieve the objectives. Thank you.
Shukran. I have a request from the Secretariat in order that we should be concise, not because of we are behind schedule. So the next intervention will be by Mr. Humadi Al Tayer, who is MP from United Arab Emirates. You have the floor.
شكرا.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Excellencies, I'm very delighted to participate in this session about innovation in business, in which parliamentarians contribute in putting in place laws to reinforce this. In this context, we have challenges in the use of artificial intelligence. So we need skills when using it. So the Emirates suggest first to create centers for the use of technology and innovation, and also provide the information about artificial intelligence. Second, protect the intellectual property in the domain of innovation. 3, provide the legislative environment and the digital infrastructure necessary for the use of this technology in the domain of information technology and communication. In this context, we would like to say that the Arab Emirates are a leading model in this domain of innovation and the use of artificial intelligence, and also attracting more investments from abroad concerning how attractive the environment is. Thank you very much indeed for your attention.
Thank you so much. The next intervention will be by Honorable Ermina Salkiewicz Didzarevic, with MP from Bosnia-Herzegovina. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. I would like to pass all the best regards from the Bosnia and Herzegovina delegation. I have just a couple comments, I would say, and the main messages I would take from this panel would be that responsibility skills, ethical codex, and as someone said, human-centered approach when it comes to the artificial intelligence is all about that we are talking today. And having in mind these facts, we heard that artificial intelligence is actually would be useful in a way that people who are creating the programs, actually many things depends on their personal development. And since we are living in the world where the knowledge is not that much appreciated, I would always pay more attention on educating people in a way to be the better education, the artificial intelligence would be better. Because speaking from someone who is not coming from the IT world, let's say, I have a personal feeling that that AI is more developed the dumber people are. So no offense to anyone, but we must pay more attention to the education of the person itself. So IA would be more useful for the community itself per se. So this debate today was wonderful, and thank you for sharing insights. I feel much clever after today, but also with so many question marks opened as someone who doesn't come from the IT world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Interesting perspective, I agree with you. So the next intervention will be by Honorable Deborah Bergamini, who is MP from Italy. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Pedro. And first of all, let me express the sincere gratitude of Italy to the PAM and to the House of Councillors of the Kingdom of Morocco for their exceptional hospitality and organization. And thank you for the very high quality of the debate. The recent advancements in AI technology, particularly in generative AI, already are transforming our economies with much of their potential which stays unexplored. This transformation presents unprecedented challenges and also opportunities in today's rapidly evolving digital landscape, requiring a thorough evaluation of its benefits and risks for global implementation. Now, when it comes to entrepreneurs, already a notable 64% of them believe that AI will enhance their overall productivity, demonstrating the growing confidence in AI potential. Italy is a country made up for 95% of its economy of small and medium enterprises. So AI is a huge potential. And as lawmakers, we're trying to help the correct development of AI within a clear framework as much as we can do as a national authority. However, improper use of AI will pose significant risks. You discussed very well about all that. First, there are ethical concerns in relation to privacy, cybersecurity threats, data security issues, overall biases, and let's say as it is, human liberty. And that's why we are all in favor, of course, of human-centered AI development. Second, the impact of AI on employment cannot be overlooked. And for us, again, lawmakers, this is a very, very relevant issue in our political agenda. While AI creates opportunities for new jobs, entrepreneurial ventures, it also poses a significant risk, I would say a revolution, on how we even keep the concept of work as it is. To face these challenges, cooperation among entrepreneurs can definitely foster AI advancements by pooling resources, sharing knowledge, case histories, developing best practices. And in this context, I believe that this forum represents an excellent opportunity. And this is why I encourage further developments on this issue in the next opportunities we will have as PAM. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, dear Deborah. So the last speaker will be, or last intervention will be from Kamar Mrabit, MP from Morocco. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Well, let me start by thanking PAM for introducing this important session on a critical issue. And thank you, moderator and presenters for their excellent contributions. We heard from the ILO representatives what is the organization is doing for its member states and labor organizations in terms of training and advice. And also we heard that the EU has already produced sort of an act to try to regulate this at the European Union level. All this is really good because, as mentioned, AI is with us and it's going really faster than we could really imagine. So one thing that, and this is an open question to all of you, what could be really done at the international level? Because there is a need for sort of a code of conduct, because if not, things will go in any direction, or a sort of an international conventions will try to somehow put some limits and some principles and some fundamentals, because this is somehow it's being done. If you take the International Atomic Energy Agency, when it comes to, as mentioned, cybersecurity or protection of sensitive information and many other things, they are developing such guidelines. But still, for AI, I think there is a need for something to be done. I'm asking a question, I'm not, but it's only to see what could be really your suggestions for next steps to try to regulate this at the international level. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we have reached the end of the interventions. Now I give the floor to our guests, to quick remarks and answers. So we reverse the order. We start with Professor António Stango. You have the floor.
Well, thank you for all the interventions, not only questions. I think from each of the persons that took the floor, we learned something more. And one point to me is very clear. PAM did a great job in organizing this event and focusing also on this particular issue. But we are probably at the beginning. We should use what I mentioned, the EU frame on this and other relevant international regulations, and study them and see how can we advance this knowledge and make it working for all the region. So we spoke about the EU, but we are now in the frame of the Euro-Mediterranean region. And the Euro-Mediterranean is quite a wide concept. We have with us a representative of countries that are not exactly bordering Mediterranean. So why we don't work together with the support of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Mediterranean to enhance our knowledge and proposal on these issues. And again, members of parliament, academia, civil society organization have to work together on this.
Thank you so much. Mr. Kofi Asou.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you, Honorable MP from Morocco, and also thank you, MP from Italy, and other MPs who provide their input to our discussion. So for me, as I said, the next step is clearly to work on the human-centered approach, so that the people who are working and who are affected, the women, the young people who are affected, are also involved in the discussion at the implementation level, at the design level, and also in the workplace. So that's the reason why ILO is consulting its constituents to implement, to design international labor standards so that the conditions, so that the working conditions are more improved. So please contribute, please participate to this design of the international labor standard so that the IAE becomes human-centered approach.
Thank you so much, dear Kofi. Mr. Mohammed Al-Kandri.
Thank you so much, Honorable MPs, for your introduction. I would like to highlight also the interest of women in AI. We have had 3 wonderful interventions from women MPs, the representative for the UAE, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Italy. And it's made me feel better because women are creative and caring, so I think AI is in good hand. In terms of the recommendation, I think it's something that has been done through the CGM. 2 keys issue is training and education, upskilling. We cannot deny the impact on AI on jobs, so many people will be left behind, unfortunately, and we need to develop income-based framework to be able to help these people. I mean, in Canada, we talk about universal basic income, which is a sort of income that will be given to everyone, regardless, because of the advance of new technologies. We have also formulated a recommendation in terms of funding through the CGM, because in order to develop AI, we need money. So we talk about competition power, we talk about human resources, and to answer the Honorable MP from Morocco, Mr. Mrabat, the key word is collaboration in the international stage. Because what we are witnessing right now, unfortunately, is a race. We have seen governments and countries buying chips to be able to develop sovereign AI infrastructure, which is not bad, but I believe that other countries, they don't have the resources to do so. So collaboration is key to avoid the weaponization of AI. So this is my advice from the policy making, but also in the national stage, but also in the international stage. And thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much, dear Mohammed. Mrs. Hannah Damota.
Just a final statement to the question that the representative from Morocco raised. I think it's the work at international level it's ongoing. I think discussions here today are have a tremendous opportunity to positively continue to impact. So just wanted to highlight that on May the 17th this year, the Council of Europe adopted a framework convention on AI, human rights, democracy, and the rule of law. It is a convention that is open for signature for other members, so it has been signed by 46 countries. So this is European Union countries plus, and it's open until September the 5th of this year. It's open for signature. So just flagging this as a possible opportunity, and I'm sure that there are other places that will be also discussing possible ways of collaborating in addition to this one. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear Hannah. So, dear friends, we reached the conclusion of our session. I extend my gratitude to each one of our panelists for sharing their valuable insights and expertise. Thank you once again.